It is fun creating. It is very fun creating a language. I will say that much. It's not like I didn't enjoy it. I really do enjoy creating a language. It is very tedious though. Because at first it seems really fun when you're like creating the large words and you're creating spell names and things like that. Especially if you're creating something that's going to be used for like spell names and things that people have to call out. You want it to sound as natural as possible, even though it's not something that's realistic. So you have to base it on something. Mine was a combination of Japanese and Arabic. So I kind of used those as bases and then kind of just extrapolated things that I knew about both languages into mine. And then the problem comes in when we start really sitting down and thinking, okay, how would they actually talk? Do they say the noun first and then the verb that's done to it? Do they, you have to figure out your sentence structure and things like that, and then figure out conjunctions and pronouns and how those things go. Because then once you get past that part, it's not that bad. It's the beginning part is like, oh. But it is fun though, I won't lie. It was fun creating a language. And I hadn't done so in a long time. Adjectives is another one. Adjectives are fun though. That's the part of the fun part, especially when it comes like thinking of like spells and things like that. You start thinking of, oh, that's what else it is. Like things like days of the week or whatever the days are. For Rune, it's actually a different calendar. So I had to make a calendar for it too. I probably shouldn't do this because it's gonna drive you insane, but I'll do it anyway because why not? I'll try to make this very brief so I don't lose too much drawing time. But where is Growling notes? Did I do it in Growly or did I do it in Odie? Did I do it in I don't know if I did in Growly. Let me check. I think I did this last year before NaNoWriMo last year because I needed it for my NaNoWriMo writing last year when I wrote book 2 of Rune, which needs super heavy rewrites. But hey, let me see if I did it here or if I did it on another document. So these are like what my normal writing like notebooks look like. Characters, I do my log line and everything, so I know exactly what the story is. I lay out my protagonist, the main cast at the system, and then major characters, antagonist, minor characters all over here. See, this has actually been building for a long time, so I have a ton of minor characters. But this is not necessarily supposed to be a comic. This is a novel. This is a novel series, so it's gonna be huge. Yeah, I don't play. When I say I'm writing, man, I don't play. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. This is my career. Origins of how the Arcstones come about, what they do, element power, blah blah. So here's the calendar part. See, I started having to make out like exactly what they sound like. I didn't do months yet. Years, I kind of talked about it, but I didn't like name them yet. Years, seasons, how they go around. I know I did one. I had to do one of each of the 4 main tribes, ethnicities. I started doing a bestiary, but I didn't really get that far just yet because I didn't introduce that many yet. Here it is. Aha. So what I had to do, I had to sit down and make out like the different rules. So like, how words describe how words describe a name of a person can be masculine and feminine based on the thing it describes, and how it works in Spanish. I took some stuff from Spanish too. Phonetic rules, words that begin with vowels can't end in vowels. Any single word identifying a person can lack a vowel but must be given a consonant. Verb tense, yada yada yada. You get the picture. I mean, I do all this possessive, adjective, singular, plural, sentence structure. The alphabet I did in the chart. So yeah, I did have the alphabet done. The drawn symbols aren't done yet. But like this is all in English, the pronunciation, the vowels. I mean, what's vowel, what's consonant, and laying all this stuff out. Type of beast what you have in the world. This with Rune takes place more in a steampunk / fantasy world. So it's more like, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings meets steampunk, basically. If you want to think like how that world lays out. So, and of course, obviously, it's super heavily Final Fantasy based. So there's gonna be a lot of like monsters and stuff like that I'll be having in there. But as far as like the bestiary and what it was gonna entail, just stuff like livestock. What kind of I started off with the monsters or whatever, but some of them are like some of the major hunters and everything and stuff like that. What's good, Detroit? I'm pretty sure I know who that is since you said Cuzzo. What's good, Brandon? Like this is actually at least like list of beasts that showed up so far that were like major beasts that exist. I got the idea of like laying out stuff like this honestly from Slayers. If you look up, there's a website called, oh, I forget, I don't know if it still exists. Oh, I don't know if that site still exists, but it was like a big. Slayers actually has a very detailed universe, and this in Slayers, when I saw their like the universe how it was built, that was my first major influence of like really how I want to build my world out. So I use that as like my stepping stone. But Slayers did the same thing for like all the stuff that you see people casting Slayers and whatnot. There's a very intricate system under that. They didn't just say, oh, she has a fire spell. They said this spell works with this spell against this spell, and this is the reason she can cast a spell. And you can tell that because when you watch Slayers, if you watch the entire series through, like certain battles, when she kills certain monsters, those monsters are, or certain beasts, I should say, or certain gods, those beasts or monsters or whatever, sometimes are what she calls on to cast certain spells. So when she kills them, she can't summon that, she can't use that spell anymore. That kind of deal. Or in like certain ones, she can't use, you know, that spell against it because it's its spell. So that kind of thing. It's very detailed, and that's kind of where I go with my stuff. So I got all kind of stuff laid out for that, man. And yeah, it's a long working progress. That's why I'm with Molly and like Bug is way simpler. It's way easier. I don't have to write a language. It's English. I just keep it pretty simple. Like on purpose, I do that. Rune though is like my baby. Rune is my project I'm working on for generations. So, you know, writing makes me sad. On the side of the dude for 18 years, he's been writing like this since high school, but never sees it. Yeah, KPZ's known me since high school, man. So KPZ knows. This is me. Detroit knows too. This is me. That's what I do, man. This is my career. That's why I want to really. I'm a novelist. I really want to get into it and get it going.